Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. I am almost a whole hour late. I apologize. I totally forgot yesterday that we had our mastermind coaching call on today. And so I just got off that, and here we are. So tonight's topic, first of all, welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1347. 5 reasons to celebrate wins. We touched on it a little bit yesterday when we were talking about 10 ways to live your best life now. And one of them was, let me go quickly to my notes from yesterday. I didn't put them down. Hang on. I tell you, it's all fun and games. I'm just like super wired. It's been a very winning day. I've had some great wins today. I just got to hear a whole bunch of great wins from people in our mastermind group on things that have happened to them, and we all got to celebrate together. So I am on, I don't know what I'm riding on right now. I'm just on a high of life. So today, I'm on a high of life. Let's see. Yesterday was, I don't think we did touch on celebrating wins yesterday, but why is it important? And it doesn't matter how big or how small the win is, it is worth celebrating, because when you have a win, you got that feeling that just makes you feel like you're invincible. Hey, I did that. It could be as simple as, it could be something as simple as I got out of bed this morning and I made my bed for the first time in I don't know how long. As in not changing the linens or anything, but making the bed, pulling all the blankets up, making them all nice and straight, putting the pillows on, that sort of made of the bed. It could be something as simple as you got out of bed this morning and you made the bed. I do that every single morning because I start the day with something already, within the first 5 minutes of me getting up, I'm already celebrating because I've got one thing done for the day. It's a huge, it's an accomplishment. It's something I've done for years. As soon as I was old enough to make my bed, my mum showed me how to make my bed, and she used to be a nurse, so I learned all about hospital corners. How to make I can make a mean hospital corner on my beds. Thanks to my mum's teaching me how to do that, and she'll probably see this and go, I didn't teach you that. Yes, she did. She did. We had the envelope corner on the sheets. We had the box corner on the blankets. So she taught me that. But it's something that I've always done. And then when I was in the military at basic training, we had to make our beds every morning. But we had to strip our beds and turn 2 sheets and 3 blankets and into a bed pack. And then we had to put the counterpane on the top. And so none of us would ever use the counterpane, or it's kind of like a quilt, but it's just like a cotton blanket, and you've got to keep it ironed, and there can't be any creases in it. It has to be tight across. And oh my gosh, I can still remember how to make a bed pack. So we had to take one of our blankets, and our blankets were wool blankets, black wool blankets that had a red stripe down the middle. And we had to fold the blankets in such a way that when we then had to put another blanket folded in a certain way with a sheet, then another blanket. Hang on, that doesn't sound right. Must have had 4 blankets. 1, 2, 3, 4. You must have 4 blankets. So there was a way that you would fold each blanket. So you'd have the one that would go around the whole thing. Then you'd have a blanket with a sheet, then a blanket, then a sheet, then a blanket, and then you had this one that wrapped around the whole thing. It had to be perfectly rectangle, but with sharp corners and sharp edges. And we had to make this every morning. And until we got back from our time up at Dip Flat, which is up in the Southern Alps, it's a winter camp type thing. We were up there in June, which for New Zealand is the middle of winter. I think we're there more towards July. So that's the middle of winter, sleeping in those big green military type tents on army cots and really comfy sleeping bags. I remember that bit. And then we actually got flown in a helicopter up into different areas. Each group got sent up to different areas, and our group was sent up, and we were standing there after we got off the helicopter. We had to lay down like we had a rifle in our hand. So jump out, lay down like you got a rifle in your hand, while somebody had to throw out the backpacks. Then everybody had to stay laying down till the helicopter took off. We were then given the all clear, and then we could go get our backpacks. Then we had to walk over to the campsite, make up our camp with our tents and everything else, designate where the bathroom was going to be. But when we're standing in our campsite, that snow was not far away. There was snow on the mountains. It was a very cold night, and the problem I had is that my tent mate, she kept trying to snuggle up with me to keep warm. Problem was that she was making me very hot, so I kept trying to get away from her. She goes, "But I'm cold," and I go, "Well, I'm boiling hot." Like I said, I run at a high body temperature, and of course she's trying to snuggle into my back, which is my hot spot. Zeffie tried to curl up there one night, and I'm sort of like, "No, sweetie girl, you can't curl up." So she's learned to curl up in other places except for against the small of my back, because that gets extremely hot. When that gets hot, I get hot. But anyway, yes, that was making. So once we got back from all of that, we didn't have to make backpacks anymore. We just had to make bed packs. We just had to make very good beds. So if your thing is like, that morning you got out of bed and you made your bed, that's a good win. If you got everything accomplished on your morning list before you needed to start work, again, another win. It could be that you made a sale today, another win. The reason that we want to celebrate our wins is because it helps that feeling, because you get that feeling of like, oh, I've had a win, yes! And it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Well, the bigger the win, the bigger the celebration. The smaller the win, the smaller the celebration. You've got to make it in proportion here. But it helps create a positive work environment, whether you're working by yourself or you're in a room full of people. If there is a win going on, everybody needs to be in on the celebration and made to feel appreciated if they had something to do with the win. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be as simple as expressing gratitude, offering praise, or taking a moment to reflect on the achievements. But you've got the win. And when you get the win, you want to do it again. So the 5 ways we can celebrate wins. Number 1, acknowledge the achievement. Take the time to recognize and acknowledge accomplishment. This can be done through a simple thank you note or publicly acknowledging the individual or team's effort. Now, if you are by yourself, why not send yourself a thank you card? I know it sounds crazy, but I will tell you this. If you send yourself a thank you card, you get this card in the mail, you've completely forgotten, by the time it arrives, you've forgotten you sent it. I have done this so many times. I forget that I send cards, and people will send me notes, say, hey, thank you for this card, thank you for that card. But when I send myself a card, I look at it and go, and I look at the address on the front, and I look at the return address, and I'm like, well, why am I sending myself a card? And then I open it up, and there's this little message from myself to my future self, because by the time the card gets there, I'm now in the future, saying, hey, just wanted to acknowledge, say congratulations on the win that you had, and it describes and it tells what the win is. I tell you, that gets that feeling back up there again for celebration. It helps boost that morale, boosts that feeling. And if you're working by yourself, or, I always say that you're maybe in business for yourself, but you are never by yourself, because you always have a team of people around you. You've got your accountants, you've got your council, your board of directors that you've got with friends. You've got coaches that you may be working with. In the travel industry, I've got all of the vendors that I work with, all the cruise lines, the tour companies. I've got a head office that can help me out as well. So I may be in business for myself, but I am never by myself. I have a team of people, and that includes your vendors. So if your vendors have a win and help you get something out on time, acknowledge that. Send them a thank you for that. But just make sure you acknowledge it. So that's number 1, acknowledge the achievement. Number 2, share the success. Share the success. Celebrate the win with others. Share the success with colleagues, friends, or family, and allow them to share in the excitement. I know my mum worries about me a lot. Since Brad passed, she kind of worries about me, but she always sends me a text message every day. The only time she didn't send me a text message is either if sitting in her living room, or she was recently on a walk in the Abel Tasman National Park where they had no cell phone service. But I texted her during that time saying, hope you're having a great walk. This is what happened today. So when she got out and turned her phone on, there was like 4 days of messages there. But share your success with your colleagues, your friends, your family, and allow them to share in the excitement with you. Some of them may be worried about you, like parents, or even children will get worried about you as well. And the fact that you can turn around and say, hey, we had this win today. This is what I did, and I got this project completed, or we made a sale today. Let them share in the win, because they feel like they're being part of your life. They don't have to worry right there and then, because you're actually moving forward. You're taking those steps to move forward. You could be building your business, and the fact that you got another sale, it may have been a major sale, it's still a good thing to do. So, number 3, treat yourself. Reward yourself or your team with something special. It could be a meal out. It could be a fun activity, a team building activity that you go to. Laser tag. That's what I was saying. Paintball. Remember one year I was working for Data Journal back in New Zealand, and we went out. We actually went to our kickoff conference, which was for our department. And as one thing is to say a thank you for all the great stuff we'd done over the last year. They took us paintballing. We went and played paintball. It was so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun that was. But it was a reward that we got given because of the activity we had, or because of what we had accomplished during the past year. And we just had this big blowout paintball event. They took us out to dinner that evening. The next day they went whitewater rafting. I stayed off the whitewater. And because of my fear of water at the time, there was absolutely no way I was getting on a raft with the possibility of getting turfed out. I just wasn't going to do that. But they had all these fun activities as a way to acknowledge the team's success, as well as just to have some fun. It was really cool. I've had other companies I've worked for where they've taken us out for a meal. One time I was working for Marriott, and they took the leadership team of the hotel out, where it was supervisors and above. And we went to the Kennedy Center. We had a beautiful meal, and then we went and watched Share Madness, which is a interactive interactive whodunit play that when you go, you never see. You may see the same actors or actresses in there, but you will never see the same play twice. They have a very loose script. They have the ability, if they feel that they can improv at a certain time, that they will improv. They feed off the energy from the audience. The second half, and this murder, it's all about this murder that takes place, and the police detective comes in, and he's trying to solve this murder. And then before we're allowed to go to a break, he has you think of questions during the break. And go talk about it with others. What do you think? Da, 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 da. And you can even go up to the detective and bring up some points with him that he will then bring up. And then when you come back, the detective is saying, now, who was it that had that question about blah, 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 blah? And the person can then stand up. They voice their question. The character then has to answer. And you're just sort of like, and some of them you go, yeah, it doesn't quite ring true with that. And so it was a fun evening out. Reflect on the journey. Number 4, reflect on the journey. Take a moment to reflect on the journey and the hard work that went into achieving the win. This is fantastic because it can help reinforce the effort and create a sense of pride and accomplishment. When you have a win and you go and reflect back, how did I get that win? Well, how did I even get in contact with this client that then created this win? Well, they asked this question on, say, social media, and I answered them and then sent them a private message about it. And we ended up on a Zoom call and explained what they needed explaining, answered their questions, and they purchased. Oh, so jump on it fast. Somebody posts a question on Facebook or LinkedIn or something that, need a referral for such and such. And if you know somebody or if you can help them, go straight to private message, send them a private message, then go back to the post, tag them in the post, telling them that you just sent them a private message. And as soon as I had done that, the person sent me their schedule link, and the only time that she had before the weekend, and I wanted to get this done before I head off to San Diego tomorrow, was 7 a.m. this morning. She had one at 9:30, but I had to drop the dog off at 10 o'clock for this dog sitter. And so I got myself up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I put on my sparkly top. I put some makeup on. I pulled my hair back, I'm sitting there in my pajama bottoms. I made it work, and it resulted in a sale for me today. So I was, and I went back and I had a look at that and said, okay, what did I do? I saw that they were asking that. I sent them a private message. I came back and I tagged them in the message. So, and that's sort of like, okay, well, that's something I can learn from when somebody asks again for something either I do or something that I know somebody else can do. I will do the same thing. I will go into the private message and say, hey, I've got a person who does this. May I introduce you through the messaging here, so you two can connect and they'll be able to answer the questions that you have for XYZ. And then I go back to their post and put, hey, I just sent you a private message. And I have connected people that way as well. So reflect on the journey, because when you reflect on what you've done, you go, hey, that really worked. I'm going to do that more often. And now you're out there, you're looking for opportunities where either you can help them or somebody else can. And then number 5 is set new goals. When you're celebrating a win, it is a great time to set new goals and aspirations. Use the momentum and the motivation from the win to propel you or your team onto new achievements, into new goals. Hey, here's our, we did this, we did fantastic. We reached this goal. Now we're going to stretch for this one. This month we had 100 sales. Next month we want 150. So let's start strategizing now and looking and reflecting on how we got the 100 and what we can do to now propel us forward to 150 or 200 sales, whatever the goal is that you want to set. So the 5 things to celebrate wins is acknowledge the achievement, share the success, treat yourself or the team, reflect on the journey, and set new goals. And the other thing we want you to do is in the comments below, put down what your wins are today. I'm all about celebration right now. Like I said, I had some wins today. I had 2 sales today. Another win I've got is a potential client. Somebody reached out to me wanting some services, and so we're going to set up a time to chit chat, have a discovery call, find out what's going on. And then I had my mastermind coaching call where we were talking about wins that everybody had. Some had some massive wins, some had some small, some had some in between. We all had wins and we all celebrated together. And I got off that call. I'm like, I have to talk about celebrating wins tonight. I knew what that topic was going to be. So that's how you celebrate wins. Anyway, I'm out of here. I have to go do laundry, get groceries. I may be able to squeeze groceries in tomorrow morning. But yeah, I have to do my laundry tonight so I can pack, be out of here early in the morning. I already have my little agenda of where I need to go and what I need to do at a certain time. And one of them is I have to stop by the storage unit. I have not had a chance to do that today. I was hoping to get that done. It didn't get done. So stopping by the storage unit, picking up my little refrigerator box and dropping off the stuff that's in my trunk, so that I can then, not all the stuff in the trunk because my bag will be in the trunk. I have a couple of things that have to go in the storage. So I've already got them in the trunk ready to go. And so it's just 2 items. Well, actually, it's 3. Get them into the storage unit, get my refrigerator box out, go hook that up in the car, go do the quick grocery shop. By the time I've done that and the grocery shop, the mail place will be open so I can pick up my mail. And we may not get to the mail. We may not, but we're definitely going to make sure we do the stop because I need shakes and snacks for the drive. I usually like the protein shakes and protein type snacks because they're the ones that provide me with the best energy to stay awake and active during the drive. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be out of here on time tomorrow, which means I have to have an early night. So go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Let us know in the comments below what your wins were today so we can celebrate with you. And we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at I don't know what time. I am simply saying that because I don't know what time I'm going to be arriving at my son's place. And then I got to say hi to all the grandkids, three of my 4 grandsons. And I'm not sure what time I'll be able to get away from all of them to get on my laptop to do my live. So it's going to be a very interesting weekend working around grandchildren and doing the lives, but we will get them done. Even if I have to go lock myself in my room or lock myself in the bathroom so I can get the lives done, but we will get them done. So anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow evening at some point. I'm sorry I can't give you a time because it depends what time I get out of here and get to San Diego and get everything done that needs to get done. You know, when you arrive somewhere new, you can't just arrive and go, oh, hang on, I'll be in so shortly. I've got to go do a live. Yeah, no, that don't quite work. Anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Hey, konera.